Fellow traders, tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Thursday, August the 20th. The year's 2026. Let's talk trading. Staying in the game with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. You definitely want to stay in the game, then you better have your risk management in place so you don't lose more than you're willing to lose while you are trading. So, Walmal, interesting morning, huh?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting morning. Quite interesting, to say the least. And it's one of those days where up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, and then there was obviously a big move up in the pound dollar for whatever reason, and of course that goes and adds some volatility once the New York boys show up for work, and so which is great because you can make some money on it. At the same time, you got to go and make sure you got your risk management. Because if you don't have your risk management in place, you can't play. You
No,
can't go in, can't play in the game,
right.
And I had a situation this morning where I went into a trade and it missed my TP by 1 point. The difference between my typical spreads are zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2, sometimes zero point 0.3, because I'm not an ECN broker, and that's generally what my spread is. But obviously I got to put it costs for that. We got to pay a commission. That's okay. But it should there. It's like it kept on going between the price would go down between the bid and the ask. Well, actually go in. It would go and miss my buy price, and because of that, guess what? I didn't get out, and I should have just gone and said, you know what, this is just not working out, and if I would have done that, I could have picked up like 21, 22 pips because I was in multiple trades at that point in time. Would have been a really, really nice trade, but I had reasons, and looking at the chart and sitting there saying, you know what, it's gonna go and hit it, and it never did. So I got out, and I still had a very nice trade on it. Wound up with plus 15 on the trade, but it could have, like I said, if it would have gone and hit my TP, it would have been, it's an additional 6 or 7 pips. That's always nice. That was the first trade. That was good. I like that trade, even though I took a little bit of a loss. The second trade, I was up 6 pips on it, and again, it was one of those situations. I think that was a situation where I think I got greedy. If I want to be honest with myself, I think I got greedy, and I was expecting to go and pick up about 12 pips. And again, that was on multiple deals on the same trade, and I was actually plus 6. And then I saw on the chart, hey, look at this. It's round. I was short, and it was rounding. It was starting to go and put in a short term, ledge there that it was going to go and bounce off of. And should have paid attention to what it was doing. Wasn't paying attention. I was just expecting to go down because I had reasons for it to go down further. But once I saw that sucker go down like that, or start to come up like that, I should have just taken some pips. By the time I recognized that I was probably up plus 3 instead of the plus 6, I ignored it, saying, no, it's going to come back. And next thing you know, this is where the title of our video comes from. It ran all the way up, and now I'm down 30 pips. Now I'm taking a big loss. But, that's just the way it is sometimes. You take the big loss. And the thing is, I took the big loss, but it didn't affect my trading. I still could trade because even with that 30 pip loss, because I had my lot size set properly, my account was never, ever even close to being in jeopardy. So who cares, You take the loss. And I think, Tiro, I said to you, took the loss, and that's just the way it is. Sometimes you take that loss and you move on. Are you happy about it? No. Are you upset about it? Sure. But it's not the end of the world. It's not you move on, at least I think I said something like that to you.
Yeah. Well, the other thing though is, and I asked you, the reason why you didn't get out of those trades because many times, that'll happen to me. Exact same thing. It's like I don't want to. I'm not trying to be greedy, and I'm thinking I'm looking at the chart and it's going to work out. And then all of a sudden it goes the other way, and then I wind up kicking myself. But but that's all hindsight. The thing is, in the moment, is we either have to change how we interpret what we're seeing, if we want to change what we do, and that I think is hard for some people to do.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. And here's the thing, I try not to do that. Although you see me do it on a daily basis, I try not to do that. And here's the reason why. In the beginning, when I was first learning to trade, I found that I was inventing reasons to stay in trades. And I was inventing reasons to get out of trades, as opposed to sticking with my original game plan. Now, sometimes you have to be realistic. The game plan is just not working. It's sort of like the old, Mike Tyson, quote, everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the face, right? And sometimes that's what happens. You get hit in the face. And okay, I've got to laugh now because my original trade, if I had stuck in it, the 135th loss, it just crossed over where my TP was. But the thing is, why did I get out? I'm going to change something when I get back to what I was saying. I got out because my risk management said get out, and that was my original game. If I get to here, okay, the trade's off, it may get back down there, but I don't want the chance of ruining my account. So that's much more important. And getting back to the first thing I was talking about, you got, for me anyway, I'm one of these guys where, I admit it, I'm not that bright. I'm bright enough not to get hit by a car in the street, and for that reason, I set a game plan. I try to keep things as simple as possible, and I stick to that. And I've just found that in life in general, and certainly in trading, that seems to work out a whole lot better for me. Have a game plan, stick to the game plan. When you cross over the lines where the game plan is working, take advantage of it. When you cross over the line when it's not working anymore, okay, get out, take your loss. It's sort of like, I was sitting there, because of the previous trades, I went from having a pretty nice day to being -5, I think, or -7 for the day, and I think you said something along the lines of, oh man, that sucks. And it does. But at the same time, I'm not worried about it. I didn't put my account in jeopardy. I didn't, that's much more important. And I think I said to you, here's the reality. I'll make this up either today or tomorrow. I can sustain that, overall daily loss of 5-7 pips. That's no big deal. That's because my lot size, I'm not over leveraged. I got things in line. They're inside, as I like to say, they're inside the banks of the river. I'm flowing down the river.
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it.
Well, you know something though, Walmal, you said that sometimes you invent reasons to stay in trades. Well, we also, I guess, we kind of do some revisionist history. We'll look at the chart and go, oh, look at what happened. I should have seen this. I should have seen that. Where no matter what happened, um, there's probably some method, some line, some squiggly, some indicator that would have told you to do opposite of what you've done. So it's that's almost a false analysis. And I think that's something else that traders have to be careful of. So, for example, I've got up on my screen the flip-flop indicator. That's it. Nothing else. So either that flip-flop trade works out or it doesn't. And it's like I can invent reasons. Oh, it was at yesterday's high. Oh, it was at the pivot. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. And it's just like, hey, but I'm not trading those. So those don't count. Now, if I want them to count, I need to put them on my chart and use them all the time.
Exactly right, sir. I mean, look at the 1 minute chart right now. I think that's what you got up.
Right.
And You look at the chart, I can give you 3 reasons to go short here, and I can give you 3 reasons to go long here. Okay? That's the thing. Okay? I can invent reasons to go, to go long, go short. I can, I can manufacture them out of the thin air. And that's the problem. When we start doing that, well, I like the way you put that, revisionist history. Because once you start putting revisionist history in there, that's when you start getting into trouble. Because looking at the chart, depending on what's going on right now, and what's going on right now in my open trades, I'm going to go and come up with, depending on your personality, either overly optimistic or overly pessimistic, and the next thing you know, you're in trouble.
Right. And so the only other thing is I do have multimeters. I've got the candle color, then close minus open, which is also candle color, and then the range. And it's like, that's pretty much it. How, I've got time, how much price is left. I mean, how much time's left, in the minute, how many seconds. But
Right. Yeah. And I think last week, or I sent it to you last week, and I think we looked at it together of my chart that I've been using as of late, and you saw my chart.
right,
There's basically nothing on it. There's indicator 2, which is basically the EMA 5. I've got M candles on it just because I like to know what the N30 candle looks like. And I got 1 minute, either 1 minute or 5 minute candles up on the screen. And I've got the dynamic fibs that shows me just where the dynamic lines are. And it's just another way of looking at support and resistance.
oh yeah, by the way, did you see I updated dynamic fibs so you have line labels and distance from the fib now?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the chart, but you sent the chart with it, and I looked at it, and I said, well, that's really cool. I got to go and install that on different machines. But yeah, that's going to be very, very helpful because now it's type of thing. Before, what I had to do was I'd have it on the screen, then I'd take my crosshairs, put my crosshairs on it, and then look at the price, that way. Now I don't even have to do that. Just look, I can just look right at the chart. And anything that keeps things simple is a beautiful thing in my mind.
Right.
That's what we want. We want simple, because things sometimes happen in the moment. And when they happen in the moment, they tend to happen very, very quickly. I don't have time to sit there and start doing calculations in my head, and doing, it's sort of like the guys that do the reward risk, ratios and stuff. They're sitting there and they're figuring it out in their head and whatever. You know what? That works great if you're working on a daily candle or you're working on, or you're trading only off of an H4 candle. It doesn't work so good when you're working off an M1 candle. Because by the time you figure out the calculation, guess what? We're on the next candle and it's all out the window. And you got to start it all over again. And then you wind up, I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and you wind up having, paralysis of analysis. All you're doing is analyzing things. And he's an engineer like I am. And you can wind up setting yourself up in a bad way where all you're doing is analyzing the chart. And then you're never taking the true trade because it never happens. Because by the time you figure out the analysis, the trade's gone. And then what happens is you get, at least for me anyway, you get annoyed, frustrated, you start acting like a squirrel, and you wind up taking trades that don't exist, and then you wind up in a mess because of that.
You sure do. You sure do. Well, plus the other thing that, I think I might have mentioned it to you in our previous conversation, but in order to get in the trade and get those big runs, you got to be in the trade. And the thing is, you don't know. So it's like take your signals, like it's got the flip flop, and maybe one of these flip flops runs 5 or 10 pips. I don't know. I can't predict that.
Right, exactly right. And then I'm going to go, that's one half of the equation. Now I'm going to say you take your signals to get out of the candidate, to get out of the trade as well.
Yeah.
If and that's where I think there's more mistakes made on that side than on the entry side. Everybody pays attention to entry methods. Nobody pays attention to exit methods.
Yeah, and we're going to have to exit out of this video because the fastest 15 minutes in trading just about over. So traders, no matter what you do, you got to stay in the game. So sometimes you got to take a hit so you can live to trade again. because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the rumpled one.